We'll just push that back a couple minutes.
Alright, so I took the liberty of designing or doing my own thing where I get an existing movie and try and make it better.
Right.
I know that's your department, movie man.
Yeah.
But
That's
why I said I took the liberty. Alright, so basically...
I'm happy with that.
Alright, thank you. Alright, so basically, the movie that I'm going to talk about is Green Lantern.
Yep.
Released in 2011, directed by Martin Campbell, who is a pretty good director, but
the movie just
the movie wasn't great. All right,
I can see you have the book over there, like just right there.
Oh yeah, Green Lantern: Secret Origin. What I'm basing most of this movie on.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so get ready.
I'm buckled in. I'm ready to go.
All right. Before I talk about how I would do it, I'll just get some background information. Like I said, Martin Campbell was the director, and you would expect Jeff Johns to be in the project.
At least as the writer.
Yeah, but I looked on the IMDb page, and I didn't see his name at all.
So he wasn't included in the movie.
No. And the movie's budget was $200 million.
Jesus.
Okay.
And do you know how much it made? 219 mil worldwide.
Wow.
So it only made back 20.
Yeah.
Around 20.
It made close to 20 million
Okay.
over its budget. Now, I was worried, so I looked online and found movies with released at the same year, so I can get an understanding of
Still moves to time how much.
Yeah.
Just a general idea.
So Transformers 3 was released in the same year. It had a $195 million budget, but it made over $1 billion.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the same year where when Thor was released, $150 million budget, $445 million worldwide. Yeah.
Wow.
So Green Lantern basically flopped.
Yeah, it basically flopped.
At the box office.
Green Lantern is like that disappointing.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like when you get, like, for those of you in school, it's like when you get 3 90s or 80s in a row, and then you get a 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Green Lantern, I thought to myself, it reminds me of another property owned by another studio, Guardians of the Galaxy. So basically, the similarities: guy from Earth joins a bunch of space cops.
Yeah.
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 Essentially.
And here's the thing: Guardians of the Galaxy had a $170 million budget, and it made over $773 million in the box office.
Jeez.
So how could a film similar to what DC has, or
years before
had make more money? Is it because it was part of the MCU, or is it because it had good publicity?
Probably good publicity.
Yeah.
And MCU was more developed, so they could take more risks like that.
Yeah.
I don't think DC had enough built up at the time.
because DC was still developing at that time.
I heard. Yeah, Green Lantern was meant to be the starting point of a DC cinematic universe. They relied so much on this film, and Jeff Johns.
Which just before you continue, that's actually kind of surprising that they relied on Green Lantern when at the moment all they focus on is Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah. So, in the honor of putting garbage out of, the trash can, I took the liberty of doing how I would have wanted Green Lantern to be.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm
Alright.
This, and just for our listeners, this will be the final thing we talk about before we end the episode.
Alright, so the director used to be Martin Campbell, but I want to replace him.
Okay.
Alright, so this was the time when he started off small. He started to be a producer. He directed a massive hit in 2009.
Okay.
He also directed a film that was released in 2011, which I like.
Yeah.
So basically, the director, J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
Alright.
Because he knows how to balance sci-fi with action, which I think
Good combination.
And he'll also act as co-writer, with the other half being Jeff Johns.
As it was supposed to be.
As it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right. And now this might cause a little bit of stir up, but I would keep the cast the same.
So Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is still
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, but his attitude will change because we didn't see Hal Jordan in Green Lantern. We saw Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, we just saw a guy.
Yeah, you saw a guy. And there's also some talk about Carol Ferris being played by Blake Lively, who was young at the time.
Yeah.
But in Secret Origin, I could use something from the book to explain why she's the head of Air Ferris. All right,
that could work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mark Strong is still Sinestro. Abin Sur is still the same dude. Toma Ray still played by the Australian Jeffrey Rush. Is he Australian?
Yeah.
Rush? Yeah.
I think so.
And Kilowog is still played by Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay.
Great voice actor. Yeah.
So when you say you keep the cast,
Yeah.
so all the cast and the voice actors for all the CGI characters, would you keep the CGI characters the same, like the exact same as they were? Or would you change the models?
I'll change them all to what they look like in the comic books.
Okay.
But give them a realistic appeal. But mix that with what they look like in the comic books.
So pretty much a diverse skin color movie, not just all.
Yeah.
Not all similar.
Not all similar. No.
Okay.
All right. I got some new Green Lanterns. Aricia, who was the neighboring sector of Hal Jordan, and Chip.
Yeah.
For some comic relief.
Okay. Yep.
And the Guardians Ganthet and Sade will have a more significant role in the movie.
Yeah.
And Hector Hammond will be the central villain.
Okay.
I will tell you why he's the central villain in this movie and not Sinestro.
Okay.
All right. So the budget would still be the same.
Yeah.
But I think that this could skyrocket.
Do better.
Do better.
Do better than it.
All right. So the film.
Do better than getting $20 million.
Yeah. So the original. So the original film opens up with narration from Tom Ray about what the Green Lantern is, how they started, blah 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 blah. I will not start off this way. I would start off straight into action.
Yeah.
So it's Abin Sur on this giant alien ship, and he's finding his way through this horde, and this displays Abin Sur being a great Green Lantern because
the power of the Green Lantern.
Yeah. But he escapes in an escape pod, but he's bleeding because he got hit.
Yeah.
And he goes to the nearest planet, and that's when we open up with a Hal Jordan backstory.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So it'll open up at Ferris Air, where you see Hal's dad being a test pilot before he died, and then you see Hal Jordan progress as he gets older. It explains a little bit of his family, like his mother not wanting him to join the Air Force because she's afraid.
Yeah.
And then on his 18th birthday, he goes to the Air Force and joins. And then I don't think he comes back to his family. And, he becomes a pilot for the Air Force. And then when he finds out that his mother died from shock, and his brother, one of his oldest brother, blames him for her death. And then, but he still continues to be a test pilot at Ferris Air, and then,
Then Abin Sur.
Yeah, and then we cut back to modern day. Actually, no, this is modern day now.
Yeah.
Abin Sur crash lands in a desert, not a dock, a desert.
Okay, makes more sense.
A desert. And then he tells the ring to find someone worthy, searches the globe, and this is where we see Hal Jordan in a flight simulator. And he gets whisked away.
Mm-hmm. So as it was in the comic books?
Yeah, as it was in the comic books. And he meets Abin Sur. Abin Sur tells him about the Green Lanterns, but only quickly because he's dying.
Yeah.
And then he's like, do you accept the duty? And then Hal's like, yeah. Basically, yeah. And then he gets the ring, and the costume materializes, and he's scared, because,
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah. And it's not CGI.
Okay.
It's not CGI. speaking of CGI, I read online where it said that the Green Lantern's costume is made of pure energy, so that's why they CGI'd it.
Yeah.
But you know, you can have a normal costume, and that'll be pure energy. Just have a green aura around it, and that's pure energy right there. But yeah. So he flies all of a sudden. But he gets the hang of flying because
he's a pilot.
He's a pilot. And then he goes back to Ferris. I think he goes back to Ferris Air, and he sees another test pilot about to crash down in a new jet that they're testing out. But he saves him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he lands the plane at Ferris Air, and then the ring can communicate. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that.
It actually speaks.
Yeah, it actually
speaks.
It actually speaks, and it says it basically materializes a mask, a real mask,
not a CGI one.
Not a CGI one. And then the ring is basically comic relief.
Oh, okay. So characters Okay.
Yeah, it's like something bad will happen, and then the ring's like, yeah.
No.
I get what you're saying.
Yep.
So basically, after that, he goes back to Abensur, and he buries him. You know, and then the ring's talking. It's like, you are requested to go to Oa, have a nice flight, and then he just goes boom up in the sky, and then through a black hole to Oa. This is opening up to Oa.
Yeah.
And it's just Green Lantern's flying around. And
he gets his training.
He gets training. It's a quick training montage. It's basically progression. But,
like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Where the hell they did it there?
Yeah. And then, but I didn't tell you this, but in Secret Origin, when Hal got the costume, he didn't have the Green Lantern symbol on his chest. It was blank. And then when he graduated, he got the symbol after saying the oath.
Yeah.
And now
makes more sense.
Yeah. Now we cut back to Earth. Actually, I should have said this before. When Hal saves the other test pilot, he then goes face to face with Carol, but doesn't recognize him. And then we see our first appearance of Hector Hammond, who's basically, I'm a douche. Get away from my girlfriend, man.
Okay,
that guy.
Yeah, but he's a scientist. He's basically a scientist, and he works at Ferris Air or something like that. And then so we cut back to when Hal graduates. Then that'll transition back to Earth, where Hector is he gets the ship, Abinsur's ship, and they find a meteor that powers the ship, because that's how it's like.
Okay.
That's how it's like. And then he opens it up to look at the meteor, and then he gets blasted by the radiation.
All right.
And that's how he gets his superpowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you're talking about Hector Hammond, is he going to have a big brain or a big head?
Well, at first he'll have a normal-sized head.
Yeah.
And then and when he gets these powers, he reads all the minds, and it's overwhelming his brain.
Okay.
And then he hears criticism from the dude, from the guys around him, and then he's like, "Shut up!" But with his mind, he thinks, "Shut up," and all their heads blow up.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So good introduction to his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good introduction to his powers, but he can't control them. That's the thing. He can't he can speak, but not as much. And then we progress back to Oa, where Hal runs into he already meets Kilowog and Tomare prior to training.
Yeah.
But then this is where he's called in by the Guardians, because they sense a threat in his sector, 2814, which is our sector.
Yeah.
So basically, they give him prejudice because he's a human.
Yeah.
First ever human.
The first ever human Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But then, he's like, they say to him, when Avensur's ship crashed, it left something radioactive there that could harm that could harm your kind.
Yeah.
Your mission is to get that meteorite before it could affect any other of your species.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan's like, that's it, because you know he's
Yeah,
cocky. He's cocky.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure. And then and this is where we get our first introduction of Sinestro.
Okay.
And then he's like, I'll go with him.
Make sure he doesn't stuff up.
Make sure he doesn't stuff up. And then the Guardians disagree at first because Green Lantern is not meant to leave his sector unpatrolled. He's not allowed to go to another sector and help out.
Yeah.
But then he's like, you know, see what he's made of. See if he doesn't stuff up. And they're like, all right, only this occasion. Go get the meteorite and come back. They go to Earth, and that's where they see that the meteor's still there. It's still there, but but this is when but Air Ferris is closed down because the deaths, Hector having been infected, radioactivity. They get the meteorite and
Bring it back.
Well, before they bring it back, they run into Hector.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
Yeah, but Hector's introduction to them is like a building blows up because he not only does he have telepathic powers, he also has telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
And then they go check it out, and then Hal recognizes that that's Hector.
The guy that he saved.
Yeah, the guy that not the guy that he saved, but the guy that was the douchebag said that Carol was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then they try to calm him down, but he overwhelms them with his powers. And they try to stop him, but they can't. And then right in the corner of their concentration, they put a bubble around Hector's head so he can't breathe.
Okay.
And then he gets knocked out, and everyone will be like, that sucked. But that builds up to him later in the movie in a big climactic battle.
Okay.
So
I might need to edit this episode into its own specific.
Yeah. And so basically they hand him to the authorities for some reason.
Because justice.
Yeah. And then they take the meteor back to Oa, and then the Guardians are like, good job, Green Lantern 2814, 1417, which is Sinestro.
Yeah.
Was anyone infected? And then they're like, just one civilian, but we handed him over to the authorities. And then they get really pissed.
Yeah.
And like, you let someone get infected? And he's like, nah, this happened before. And they're like, get him here now.
Yeah.
And their eyes are like white with rage.
Yeah, so kind of like that poster behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah. And since Sinestro was there, they blame Sinestro for not,
handling the
Because
situation.
he was the experience.
Yeah, because he was the experience.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, where we get our first glimpse of Sinestro's hatred towards the Guardians.
Okay.
Which will grow in this movie.
Yep.
I also should have told you this. During the training session, Kilowog throws a yellow disc, and he just tells Hal to catch it. Hal manifests a hand, but the thing goes straight through him and hits him, and he's like, why are we weak to yellow?
Yeah, because...
But everyone's like, no one knows. It just is. And then you'll find out later on in the movie.
Okay.
Now, they go back to Earth. They try and get Hector, who is in a giant container unit.
Yep.
And this is where we see his head starting to grow.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. And then but he can't speak anymore. He's paralyzed. He can only translate through thought. And so they get there, and actually not. And yeah, Hector, he escapes because his powers start to grow, destroys the cage, like wipes out half of Ferris Air, and starts to go into the city looking for Carol.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And then they go to Earth. They find it. Then they see commotion in the city, so they go to the city, and they see like a little part of the city destroyed, with Hector's powers. And then the windows are like breaking. The roads are splitting. His powers are out of control.
Okay.
So they try, but they try to stop him, but his thoughts are too powerful, and they actually look around and they see civilians getting hurt as well and killed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then when Carol comes out of there, he starts to calm down because he loves Carol.
Okay. So she's like kind of his weakness kind of thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Weakens him.
Yeah, but then he sees that she is scared of him, and then he gets to start. And then
he gets more angry.
Yeah, he gets more angry. Like, why are you scared of me? What have I done to scare you?
Yeah, right.
And then he looks around and he sees all this death, and then he stops for a bit, and then Hal goes up to him and he's like, Hector, please come with us. And then he looks at him. He looks at Hal straight in the face. And then he reads his mind. And then he finds out that Green Lantern is Hal Jordan. Mm-hmm. And he gets really mad. And it's almost to the point that he almost kills him. Then Sinestro comes in and he just starts bashing Hector.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Bam, bam.
Punch her a bit.
Yeah. And he's
like that fight scene in every single superhero movie.
Hashtag they punch her a bit, then they're mates.
Yeah. So basically,
that's generally the way in movies.
And this is where Sinestro's out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see the side of him that he's feared. And Hector, he's scared of Sinestro. But Hal's like, stop. This is my problem that I was supposed to fix. I'll fix it. And then he fights Hector. He defeats him. They take him to Oa. That's where they put him in prison on Oa. And then this is where the Guardians are like, why didn't you take this sooner? And then this is where Hal Jordan speaks back at the Guardians.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why are we? And then this is, I don't know how this is brought up, but it's like, why are we? Yeah, but fear, yellow. Why are we scared of yellow? Why can't we hit yellow? Because Hector, he like throws a yellow bus, and then he tries to stop it, but he can't.
Oh, no. Okay.
But he can't. And then.
So this is during the fight scene.
Yeah, this is during the fight scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to Oa. He questions the Guardians, and the Guardians get mad at Sinestro. He was like, yeah, why not? And then movie ends with Hal going back to Earth, and then there'll be a mid-credit scene that'll build up to Green Lantern 2.
Yeah.
And it's basically Sinestro on his personal thing on finding out who killed Abin Sur.
Right.
And he's in disguise. He took off his ring.
So no one can recognize him, yeah.
And he's wearing his classic costume.
Ah.
His classic costume with the triangles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He goes to an alien bar. He finds a suspect, and then this is where he threatens him. But the alien starts to get a little. He's not scared. He's not scared.
Yeah.
And then that's when Sinestro puts the ring on, and he turns into a Green Lantern, and that's when the alien is scared. And then he manifests a grip on his on his head, and he squeezes and squeezes and squeezes, and the alien is scared. And then when the alien said a possible lead on who killed Abin Sur, Sinestro kills him.
Right. Okay.
And that builds up to Green Lantern 2, where we get a loose adaptation of the Sinestro Corps War.
Okay.
Alright.
The end.
So, it sounds a lot better than the actual movie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you did a great job then.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So just so that how Nerd Dude made the movie better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for a lot of blanks. I'm sorry for a lot of things, but I had like a week to think of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just to do it justice, I will edit it out and I'll put it into its own episode.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Alright, so that's it for the first episode of Season 2 of Local Nerd News.
Alright. Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Alright, for all those, I'm Nerd Dude.
I'm Saber Guy.
And I'm Movie Man.
Let's go.